Weeks away from every adult in California having access to the vaccines, and now the clock ticking to get the most vulnerable vaccinated before we see demand climb even higher. How long officials say the convention center could serve as a shelter for migrant children who could start arriving this weekend. And the Pentagon releasing new details from its investigation into that deadly training accident off San Clemente Island. The key factors investigators are pointing to. ABC 10 News at 11 starts now.
ABC 10 News at 11 starts now.
Great to have you with us this midday. I'm Jim Patton, and I am joined remotely by my co-anchor Virginia Cha and 10 News meteorologist Megan Perry. Always great to see you both, and we will be with you very shortly. Well, good news for some of our San Diego seniors. Dozens are now fully vaccinated after a local wellness center holds a vaccination clinic this morning. Organizers say there have been some challenges getting the seniors their shots. ABC 10 News reporter Natay Holmes joins us live from downtown. And Natay, the county wants to continue to focus on this special group, especially with vaccine eligibility opening up soon.
Well, Jim, it's been for months now that older adults have been able to get their vaccines, but it's also been a challenge trying to get seniors who are homeless, homebound, lack of transportation, or who face other barriers to get their shots. And with the vaccine eligibility requirements loosening soon, it's important that these individuals are not forgotten.
Over 80% of the deaths across the country have been people 65 and older. So this is the most high-risk group. Many of them have multiple chronic health conditions, and so they are at risk of a really bad outcome.
Homeless and low-income seniors received their shots at the Gary and Mary West Senior Wellness Center this morning. Serving Senior CEO Paul Downey says Friday's vaccination clinic is a step in the right direction toward making sure our most vulnerable population stays safe. According to the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, the storage of the vaccine has been a challenge while being able to get seniors who are homebound. Downey says that they are hoping to get the Johnson & Johnson vaccine in the future because it only requires one dose and can easily be transported. Now, the demand for the vaccine is expected to increase even more with eligibility requirements opening up to everyone 16 and older in mid-April. Now, if there is a senior in need but having trouble getting an appointment, they can call 211 and they can assist them with getting those appointments. Live in downtown, Natay Holmes, ABC 10 News.
Thank you, Natay. And as Natay just mentioned, and as we first reported here yesterday, California is preparing to expand vaccine eligibility to all adults and then some soon. So what that means is on April 1st, anyone 50 and older will be allowed to make an appointment. Then, starting April 15th, anyone 16 and older will be eligible. With most everyone on the verge of becoming eligible, attention now turns to supply.
And so we're going to need to see some considerable increases in the number of vaccines we receive to really have a meaningful impact in the availability of San Diegans.
For the week ahead, at least, the county is expecting a bump up in doses. So far, 1.5 million shots have been administered around the county. Well, this weekend, the convention center is set to start sheltering unaccompanied migrant children who have been overwhelming federal facilities along the border. So San Diego is working with the federal government to turn the convention center into a temporary migrant shelter to take pressure off facilities in places like Texas, which has seen some of the biggest surges. More than 1,500 children are currently being held at Customs and Border facilities. Government officials say they're having trouble transferring them to the Department of Health and Human Services. It's not clear how many will be housed at the new shelter in San Diego, but officials say they will probably be there for 30 to 35 days. Well, we are learning some new information about what may have led up to the training accident that killed 9 service members near San Clemente last year. ABC 10 News reporter Marie Coronel has the results of the investigation.
It's been more than 8 months since 8 Marines and 1 sailor were killed in a routine training accident near San Clemente Island. The service members were in their amphibious assault vehicle when it sank in what's being considered the deadliest AAV accident in Marine Corps history. The Marines have released this statement detailing the results of their months-long investigation. It reads in part saying the combination of, quote, human and mechanical failures caused the sinking of the AAV, and contributed to a delayed rescue effort. It goes on to say maintenance failures due to disregard of maintenance procedures, the AAV crew not evacuating personnel when the situation demanded, and the improper training of personnel on AAV safety procedures also were factors that led to this tragedy.
There's a lot of training that goes into this as far as safety and other procedures. However, you got to remember there's a human factor too. So it began to take on water. The crew perhaps did not follow all the safety procedures they were supposed to. And compounding matters, they opened the hatch for the Marines inside the AAV, and the sea state at the time swamped it.
Former ABC 10 News military reporter Bob Lawrence says because of this accident, there will likely be more emphasis on safety training. Earlier this week, Colonel Christopher Bronzy, who was the commanding officer of the unit during the time of the accident, was relieved of duty. He is the second officer connected to this incident that has been fired. And Lawrence says it likely won't end there. He believes the result of the investigation may also force the Marines to take a close look at their equipment.
There won't be any amphibious landings using this type of AAV. They'll have to either certify the new piece of equipment that they're now testing at Camp Pendleton, or they're just going to have to do away with this AAV altogether, because it doesn't appear that mechanically it's going to be sound enough to hold up.
Marie Cornell, ABC 10 News.
Overnight, the rain creating dangerous conditions on San Diego roadways. This one of multiple wrecks last night. Police say the driver of that car died when they lost control on the ramp from the I-8 to the southbound I-5. Just after midnight, the car flew off the pavement, wrapped around a bridge column. Crews on scene used the jaws of life to pull the two people out of the car. The passenger was taken to the hospital. The driver pronounced dead at the scene. Well, that coming just hours after this crash in Kearny Mesa. CHP tells us the car cut across all the lanes of the 163, flew off the freeway right around 10 last night, coming to rest in an in-and-out parking lot. Police confirming wet roads played a role. Two people inside went to the hospital with major injuries. Well, the murder trial for the former Minneapolis police officer accused of causing the death of George Floyd starts Monday. Derek Chauvin faces manslaughter and second and third degree murder charges after kneeling on Floyd's neck last month. Jury selection finished up Tuesday. Testimony is expected to last a month. Chauvin has pleaded not guilty to the charges.
Meanwhile, a new lawsuit stemming from another incident that drew national attention last year, the shooting of Jacob Blake in Kenosha, Wisconsin. Attorneys representing Blake have filed a federal lawsuit that says Blake's rights were violated, accusing the officer of using excessive force. The shooting left Blake paralyzed. The lawsuit comes after the officer who fired at Blake was cleared by prosecutors earlier this year.